So I just want to get an idea from you, Bart, first. What is some of the financial impact that diagnostics have made in your practice?
Yeah, you bet. So in Idaho, our reimbursement for physical therapy is still moderate. It's not what it used to be, but we have seen some decreases in that. When we started to introduce diagnostics into our practice, we found that it became a revenue stream that was independent of physical therapy reimbursements and became almost, the way I see it, almost a separate business or a practice within a practice without the brick and mortar overhead that we normally have in opening a new location. And so essentially each of our 4 locations has an additional practice inside of that practice. It's quite a good revenue builder. As we entered into that, it became really apparent that there was no way we could step away from what it did financially for our practice. And you can see some numbers here for Superior PT. Our revenue per visit before HODS and PT only, 104. Revenue per visit with HODS jumped up to 137. And so, we see a 31.7% increase. And over 12 months, it's very, very dramatic on what that can do for a physical therapy practice. On top of that, what we've done is tried to reinvest some of that revenue back towards our therapists that are learning and growing and tried to give them some incentives so that they feel like they're very, really they're being incentivized, yes, but they're being really promoted within our practice for the extra time and effort that it takes to be the very best physical therapist in the country by being a part of diagnostics.
So I'll get back to the staff effects and how you incentivize people, but I'm going to ask you guys, Angie and Joe, in your practice, what are some of the financial effects from diagnostics for those insurance carriers that reimburse for diagnostic testing in your area, in your state?
Yeah, so as Dimi has pulled up there, our numbers are kind of seen on the bottom of that grid. Approximately 30% increase in our per visit. I can say that, last year you talked about the overall kind of the net profit that practices are looking at. Very pleased to say that last year our profit margin was 29%. So, I mean, that's unheard of compared to what the PPS numbers are showing.
That's very good. Especially, think about this. Let's take the example of a physical therapy practice and even a solo practitioner, a single guy, let's say, PT, or maybe a PT with a PTA or something like that, some sort of combination, where in many cases, they are at a profit margin, let's say, of 8 to 10%, and that is pretty much the salary that therapist is taking at home. An 8% reduction or another 15% reduction on that, what are the effects on that practice? How much money that person will end up taking at home at the end of the day? It can have really significant negative financial implications. So diagnostic testing can, amongst all the other benefits, it can offer financial viability to a physical therapy practice